All right, guys, we're back and we're about to get this toolbar set up. In the last video, I went ahead and showed you guys how to even get the plan on TradingView, get the essentials plan, and get whichever symbols that you wanted in your sidebar here. And that was the basis of that video. But we got to get this toolbar set up right here so you guys can actually mark up your charts correctly and understand key levels and what you're looking at and stuff on the charts. So there might be like a small toolbar already up, but if not, I'm just gonna go ahead and make one. So you want to go over here on this little sidebar on your left here and press the arrow and favorite all the ones that I have favorited here. So the horizontal line, horizontal ray, vertical line, and you're gonna go down each of these and heart these. So I'm gonna stop here for a second so you can see this real quick. When you start them, they should be coming up like this on your toolbar. And if you don't want something, just come and unfavorite it. So I'm going on to the next. Last one down here. This one down here is the GAN box. That's the one that you want to favorite there. Nothing on the third row that you need to favorite. Fourth row, you want to just favorite the long and the short position, and then go all the way down here and do the date and range price. Down to the fifth row, you want to do the arrow. Sometimes you can do the arrow. I don't really use the arrow too much unless I'm just trying to identify trend line liquidity. But the arrow can be pretty nice to use sometimes. And then you want the rectangle as well. And then down here, last one is just the text box. And so your toolbar should look exactly like this. So the reason that I use these tools in the toolbar, I'm going to give you a small explanation. And as you see, when I actually start putting them into use, when actually marking my charts up. But the toolbar is used for identifying anything on here. So the rectangle for me is something that I use to identify and mark up fair value gaps and areas of interest, so points of interest. So fair value gaps or rejection blocks, that's what I use the rectangle for. For the date and price range, this is just really trying to see how many points something had dumped or pumped. So this right here, if I wanted to see how much was this pump, I would just use the date and price range to see how many points this pushed upwards. Let's not do this right now. Anyways, all right. Going on to the vertical line, this is just for me to mark market open. So at 9:30 this morning, I had this vertical line sitting right here just so I know where market open specifically is and I don't keep having to coming back to it on the chart. Then we have the GAN box. So for the strategy that I use, I go to the 15-minute time frame and use the GAN box to identify the break and retest level. All it does is it looks like this, and it has the midpoint here, as you can see, as to where price should close below or above. We'll get into that later. Long position is when I'm ready to buy into the market, and I want my stop and my TP, take profit, to be immediately looking exactly how this looks. Then you have short position, which is when I sell, take shorts. Arrow, trend line liquidity. So this should come up, maybe sweep this down, just for me to understand what's going on. We have vertical line, or just this line going forward, or this whole line. These are just my key level markers. I'll put like my liquidity, I draw liquidities up like this, draw on liquidity, mark out key highs, equal highs, things like that. And then my text box is just if I need to write like Asian Open or New York Open or something like that. So those are all the tools for your toolbox. Pretty simple. I'm going to get into the next video on really explaining the beginning of all of this.